Newton-Elopka. If you have seen content from my channel, there's approximately two possibilities for you to know me. Either one, you know me because of some occasionally interesting Pokemon videos, or two, because of criticism towards the AnimeMen. Yeah, what a legacy I have. So yeah, throughout the history of my channel there has only been a total of 3 videos that have surpassed the 2000 view mark, with one of them being the recently mentioned AnimeMen video. My video was mostly about criticizing all of the key details of the video, something that a couple of other YouTubers actually did, and they actually made an overall response for everyone, which is very surprising. For anyone that knows me in real life, that to be honest with this channel I hope that is none of you, you should know that I'm someone that doesn't like to make content just to get views. I don't like just going to another people's channel, reacting to their videos and making views off of other people's work. I personally am someone that doesn't like that. So I really did not have any particular interest in making this video. However, there were 3 reasons for me to actually make it. The first one is that somebody asked me, literally one person. I didn't even knew that they made the video yesterday. It just so happened that one commenter led it in my comment section, and I just so happened to see it, and it was like, so they actually did it way earlier than I was anticipating. So I decided to give it a view. As I'm saying, I was not considering at all making the video, but there were other 2 reasons. The second one is the fun one, because the reason as to why I'm also doing this is because I appear in their video, which is funny. Like, I'm just screaming, and my reaction to just appearing was like, what? What, were you expecting me to scream as well, just like in the previous video? No, I have more reactions to do. I'm more original than that. But yeah, I'm one of those content creators that they decided to put in the video, and I was pleasantly surprised by that, especially because I'm probably the smallest channel to make a review for them. I'm probably by a landslide. Like, I have less than 300 subscribers, and I was seeing mostly people that have millions or hundreds of thousands. So seeing me in a video with all of those guys, and in a channel with almost 5 million subscribers, was honestly surprising. But the reason to why I'm actually making this video was because of the third reason, which is that the response was actually kinda amazing. As I'm saying, I just was about to just brush off the entirety of this story and just let it be, because I didn't want to use their fame more for my advantage, because that's how I feel doing these videos, to be honest. But the fact that they actually make a great video made me kinda sad to make the other video. Granted, the previous video is still awful, but that being the only thing that I have done related with them, especially after this, as I'm saying, phenomenal response, I feel like it would be like trying to paint them in a way that seems that is not how they truly are. So I wanted to make another video about it. See, I can totally be making right now a video of multiple hours talking about every single detail about what they did, but that's not my style. I'm gonna just talk about it in a concise way, extremely short, because that's how I am. The apology actually was like divided in 2 main segments. The first one being just they acknowledging everything, and the second one was actually really amazing. But let's start with the first one. You see, something that I expected about them was the fact that they were just gonna apologize and say, yeah, we're sorry, we did this video in a wrong way, and yada yada, and move on with their lives. But they actually address everything. In their video, the whole first minute is them showing all of the criticism that they receive in every social media. And the interesting part is, in no point they try to put it as something wrong. Even at some points where even myself acknowledged that the criticism was kinda unfounded, because some people wanted to paint the things in a way that it wasn't true. Like how it was very common to see online people talking about, oh, Macross is F tier and solo leveling is B tier, without even regarding that it was specific about the first chapter. They decided to put it in the video, and they did not care that that was not fair criticism. they still allowed it, and they did not deny it a single time, which is extremely surprising. It is genuinely difficult to find content creators that take the criticism in a good way, but having someone that even takes in a good way criticism that is not deserving is surprising. And I really like that part. Overall, the first part is really well done, especially considering how the average apology video is all about. They actually make jokes about themselves being tourists, something that so many different content creators said about them, and probably I'm like the only one that is referenced that doesn't say it at all. I don't know, regardless, they took everything in a pretty fair way. They actually acknowledge all of the problems with the video in the first part. They talked about how it was completely wrong for them to watch the phone half of the time. They acknowledged the fact that they were doing a lot of 2x speed and it was atrocious, at the point that they even talk about that later in the video, and they make a joke about themselves with that, which is something that most people would not even dare to do even if they were truly sorry, to actually make jokes about themselves with the things that they were criticized, and I give them points for that. They also mock other apology videos, which was very fun. Sadly, they didn't have the ukulele in hand. It would have been good for them. But as I say, they actually go and take every single criticism in the right way. And that is without even talking about the second part, which is the most surprising for me. The second part of the video is they basically making an actual tribute and a genuine video for a lot of the shows that they bash in the first one. Instead of going for the one episode per anime, they kinda went out of their way and they reacted to like a dozen of the shows that they mocked. And they actually did it. Like, they were watching no less than a dozen episodes for every single one of them. And I think that that is fantastic. In every single individual anime in which I had a personal complaint because of the way that they watched it, they actually remade that entire anime and actually watched a good chunk of it. All of Doraemon, Astro Boy, Gundam, and Inuyasha, among others, were given their proper respect, and I genuinely love it. They actually watch a good chunk of the shows. Of course, they didn't watch it every single episode for every single one of them. Like, my god, Gundam has like 1,000 episodes if you count every single individual interaction of it. But they actually made a proper research for most of them, and they actually went with real life quotes and a lot of things from media articles about these shows, even without taking into consideration that they watched them. And I feel like this time it was genuine. They took every single criticism that I had in the video, and I assume that most people had, and they actually took care of it, and they learned from that. I genuinely think that they felt sorry by the low quality of the content. Something that is, as I'm saying, really rare. It is one of the very few times in my life that I have actually seen someone messing up pretty badly and they acknowledging it, all of it. Granted, there is one minor complaint in the apology video. I think that in some parts they kinda overdid it with the compliments. Not saying that the animes did not deserve it, but like in one or two animes it felt a little bit forced. Not that they didn't actually like the anime once they actually watched it, but that they kinda said more things than what they would have normally done. As I'm saying, it was with only one or two animes. Like in Astro Boy, they actually acknowledged that Astro Boy was not made for them, which is the truth. Astro Boy is not made for people from our generations. It was made for people that were kids and young adults in the 60s. They acknowledged that it wasn't made for them, which is true. However, as I said, there's like one or two anime in which they kinda go a little over the top with the things. I think that is either Macross or Messenger, or maybe both of them, but it feels like they were kinda overdoing it. I personally feel, looking at this video specifically, that they made it more for the feeling sorry rather than to get pity points. It actually feels like they overdid it just because they were truly sorry to a certain extent of the previous reviews, and not because they wanted to, oh, just give it a positive review so we get points and likes and all of that. I feel like they were genuine in everything in this video. Also, the jokes were better, something that doesn't have anything to do with the actual quality of the content because comedy is subjective, but I genuinely enjoyed the jokes way more in this video. But I don't think that is something that it really matters. As I said, there's not a lot that I can say about this. It was a phenomenal response that nailed in most, if not all of the points one by one in a perfect manner, and they didn't even disrespected a single person in the process. Something that they could have done because there were some that were justified, but they didn't. Even in my minor complaint, I might be wrong, and they didn't overreact it at all, and that's how they truly felt about it. And it's just my opinion that, as I'm saying, seems to be potentially wrong, because in everything else they were very consistent. So as I'm saying, I'm not gonna extend this any further. I'm just gonna say this is probably the best response I have ever seen personally. Definitely the best related with any anime controversy. And I genuinely hope that these guys keep following this path and that this is the path that they have followed in previous videos when I didn't knew them. Because if that is the case, I can totally understand why they have so many millions of subscribers. And yeah, without anything else to say, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And watch their video as well. Like, it was genuinely good. And they actually went and made research about a lot of the animes. Hell, they even added some anime that were not in the previous video, which was weird, but I genuinely enjoyed it because it was like the Rose of Versailles, which I haven't seen, but I really appreciate some love for those older animes. So yeah, without anything else to explain, see you next time, and bye.